Hi everyone, welcome to my video. So it has been about 15-16 days ever since my hair transplant. So to be exact, it has been 15 days after, and it's growing. It's about maybe like 1 centimeter long each hair, so it's really growing. And as I do this, like as I move into the light, and you can see the little tiny hairs like on the very top, like sticking out. Okay, and I'm going to tell you like what the real reasons why I did it. It's very hard, very difficult for somebody in their 20s to start losing their hair. Normally we relate hair loss with aging. So when people see you balding and people see that you're changing, that you're having some emptiness in here or back here, like people start comparing you, like, oh, you look like your grandfather, oh, you look like your, oh, now you're starting to look like your dad. And even though like sometimes they don't really have a bad intention behind that, like they don't want to make you feel bad or anything, but deep inside you think like, oh wow, like I'm only 20 something and I already look like my dad who's like 50 something. So it is depressing for a young person, like especially someone in their teens. Like I started losing my hair when I was 18. When I was 18, I had really long hair, and I remember I had to, like, I had a lot of hair, but I did have some emptiness like in this area right here. So I always let it grow really, really long. So my long hair kind of covers like this area over here. But when I was like 19, I continued, like it didn't stop. And then it was when I was about 20 that I started cutting my hair like shorter, and it was like evident that I had like this empty area over here. And then it was when I was 21 that I was really bald, like completely bald. And I'm going to put some pictures in here. At that time I was trying so many different treatments, and it was frustrating to see dermatologists assess like, oh, like how is your stress level, are you is there anything that's making you like like depressed, like anything like that. And I know deep inside it comes to my genetics, like, and they have to assess so many different things, like, do you drink alcohol, do you do that? And I'm like, okay, look, my father has it, my grandfather has it, it's like inevitable, I'm gonna have it too. And I don't understand, like, they keep, okay, stress. I know people who, mainly women, they lose hair because of stress, because they're not taking care of themselves, the stress is taking over them. Yes, I get it, but somebody like me with like a really strong history of hair loss, come on, stop the stress questions, get straight to the point. I have male pattern baldness, and it's not because of my stress. No matter how relaxed I am, no matter how much time I dedicate to myself, it's not gonna improve. So I hate those questions, like when you go to a dermatologist and they're like, yeah, but let's take care of this first, let's take care of that first, let's take some vitamins, okay, like they want to try like every alternative treatment out there before they hit the nail. And I just want to hit the nail, like I know what the nail is and I just want to hit it. So I started educating myself about it, because the people who were educated to treat me were not advising me enough, and were not giving me, the best treatment out there. And I did a lot of research. I learned a lot on YouTube. Reason why I'm putting this video up there, because I want other people to see. I want other people to see my struggles, to see my improvements. I want other people to maybe get some advice from me. I don't know. So I'm an 18-year-old guy with male pattern baldness, and I'm like, well, I'm not 18 right now, but like back then I was like 18 years old and using minoxidil. That was one of the first treatments I used, and it did help in the beginning, but then I noticed that the effect of minoxidil was like diminishing. And then towards the very end of me using minoxidil, I was just shedding hair like crazy. When I stopped minoxidil, everything just fell off. And I noticed that minoxidil works in the beginning, but then towards the very end, you start having like very oily scalp, and you start having like itchiness a little bit, and also a lot of dandruff. And then, you know, it's like your skin is so greasy and so oily that no matter how much you wash your head, you have all this dandruff, and also the effect is not the same anymore. And then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna stop it because it's not working anymore. And then I have this love and hate relationship with minoxidil. Like, I love it in the beginning, and then I just hate it in the end. So I decided not to use minoxidil ever again in my life, and I'm not going to, because of what it does. And now that I got a hair transplant, I will never use minoxidil ever again, because I will be so scared that, yes, some articles say, yes, use minoxidil to enhance the appearance of your hair after a hair transplant. No, that is a big no, and I will not mess with my hair transplant using minoxidil. That's a big no. I just contraindicated minoxidil for myself forever, never using it again. Only things that I supplement my hair transplant with are biotin. I also take vitamin D. A lot of people out there have vitamin D deficiencies. I'm one of them, and it's a lot of people out there. So maybe if you're watching this video, want to check your vitamin D levels and see how they are, because they can affect your hair and they can make your hair fall. So who knows if, you know, my vitamin D deficiency was contributing to my hair loss. Who knows? I would say yes, because it is a factor, and now I'm taking vitamin D, which I'm not going to stop taking it, because, you know, if I need it, I need it. It is very depressing when you're young and you have to deal with male pattern baldness, looking like your father and your grandfather. And many people say, just embrace it, just leave it alone. It's part of yourself. But at the same time, you are a young person. You want to feel like a young person inside and also outside. You want to look at yourself in the mirror and want to say, okay, I want to do my hair today. I want to, you know, maybe have a different hairstyle. Maybe I want to dye my hair. Maybe I want to cut it real short. So all these things apply if you have hair in your head. And in order to enhance like your own beauty, your appearance, it is very important to have, you know, what you're used to have. For me, I grew up with a lot of hair. Even, you know, when I was a teenager, I had a lot of hair. Also, like towards my 17, 18 years old, I had a lot of hair, and then it started falling off. And I just never got used to looking the way I looked. So I tried every single treatment out there, even PRP. When I was 21, I had really, really bad baldness. I tried PRP. I'm putting the pictures here for you guys to see of my results with the PRP. PRP was incredible, it worked. But then again, like minoxidil, it didn't work after. And then I tried PRP maybe like 5 times. And then the first time it worked, and then after the other times, it just didn't work anymore. I still believe in PRP. I know PRP, you know, has a lot of growth factors, and it really helps you. It is just that genetics is genetics, and even though, you know, I still believe PRP was helping me, was helping my you know, my skin and everything. It was just not enough for my hair, because the genetic factor was bigger than the effects of PRP itself. After like 3 months, I'm going to start PRP again, because I believe in PRP. It's your own plasma, your own growth factors. Your platelets are enabling those growth factors to work in your hair follicles. And I'm going to continue using PRP But for the time, for now, I'm just going to let my hair transplant to settle. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna stick any needles on top of it because I'll be afraid that a needle will damage my follicles. I don't want to mess with it. But after 3 months, then I'm going to resume the PRP. Maybe I can do it like twice a year. That being said, I'm very happy with my results so far. I do have a little emptiness up here that will hopefully cover up with the hair that's gonna grow. Maybe I can use, if necessary, I can use some hair fibers along with letting my hair grow a little longer, maybe push it back, things like that. I'm just going to keep posting content over and over of how my appearance is looking. As you can see, I'm growing some hairs over here. This hair over here is growing really strong, really thick also. Also over here is growing. So I'm just gonna leave some pictures up there of how my hair is looking right now. I went to Istanbul, Turkey for hair transplant. I got in touch with one of the clinics there, and I consulted with hair transplants in America first, not in the US, but like in the countries of America. Like I consulted Colombia, I consulted the Dominican Republic, I consulted Mexico, and they were just not convincing enough for me. And then I just continued looking for information, and I found that the DHI FUE method is the best of the best out there. They probably have better, but that's the best of the best because it's very precise. They use a very small instrument to implant the hairs, and they do 2 steps in one. They do the channel opening and the implantation in 1 step. Basically, what the FUE does is they open the channels with the tip of some sharp instrument. They have the sapphire FUE, which is a sapphire blade that is very thin. They also have regular FUE. They just open your skin before they implant the hairs. But the DHI method is like a pen. It goes like this, like that. And then what it does is like the tip of the pen has like a hole in it, and inside that hole they put the hair follicle that they extracted, and then every time they go like this, they open the channel and they leave the hair inside of it. I was fascinated by it because they can choose which direction you want the hair to go. If you want the hair to go this direction, if you want it to go like this direction, they always do it the most natural way possible. So they do it depending on the direction of your own hair. Like if this hair, for example, grows in this direction, the hair go like this, then they're not gonna implant the hairs looking into this direction, because your native hair is going to be against your transplanted hair. So they always make it look the most natural possible. So they're able to choose which direction. Like here you can see the transplanted hairs are growing in this direction, which is my natural direction, and this hair here is growing like in this direction, which is my natural direction. They're not changing anything. They're not changing anything, so everything is looking natural. My procedure was done in 2 separate days. They did this part first, They put some hairs in this area up here, and then they did this area after. Like this was the last thing that they did, and then this was the first thing that they did up here. And overall, they did a very good job. I'm not gonna give them like 100%, like yeah, they did everything the way I asked, but overall they did a very good job, and I appreciate that. I'm not going to say what clinic I went to, because I'm not trying to do marketing for anybody, honestly. And there are a lot of clinics out there. You have to do your reviews, you have to do your research, you have to read the reviews, what other people are saying about them. Also, you have to evaluate them on your own. Like when you're communicating with them, make sure that the communication is clear, that everything is put on the table even before you jump on the plane. Like you have to make sure everything has been said. Later on, maybe I put some video talking about what you need to ask. You know what, I'm just gonna put it up here because I'm so bad at posting things. Look, when you're researching these clinics, go on their social media and look at the before and after photos of other people, because you want to hear other people's stories before you jump the gun and you make your own. That it was my best resource was like Instagram, also YouTube. Look at their before and after pictures. Look at their before and after pictures. Look at the pictures during the procedure, how they do the procedure. Look at which type of procedure you want. Nowadays, many people are requesting the DHI procedure because the DHI is very effective. The recovery is fast, and their outcomes and the survival rate of the graft that they put in your head is like 98%. So you want to go for something that has a very high survival rate, because they're taking the hairs from back here, and they're putting them in here. So you want them to survive. 98% is a very high number, so go for it. Also, make sure that the communication is clear. Turkey is a whole different country. They speak a whole different language. We do not have words in common with English. Turkish is very different. Make sure that the communication is clear, that you understand each other, because communication is crucial. During my operation, I had a communication barrier with the people who were performing my operation. I wish I met with them like over Zoom, and we had a discussion of how we want things to work, even before I chose the clinic, because I realized that even though I was speaking with a translator, like with the communication department, all throughout my questioning and asking them everything about their clinic and about the procedure, when I went there, the people who were actually performing the hair transplant did not know much English at all. Some of them understood, yeah, here and there, but the communication was not very good. And I wish that I chose the clinic with English-speaking doctors. That's very important. Also, you want to make sure that they give you what they tell you that they're gonna give you. Like if they tell you, okay, we're giving you this, make sure they put something in written. Ask them, okay, instead of you telling me that through text, maybe I want you to send me like a document, so I have that in written. That is very important. What else? And also, they usually cover like the transportation and the hotel along with the hair transplant all in one price. I found that very good. And yeah, just do your research on the clinic. Some clinics are more reputable than others. Clinics that operate inside of a hospital, I would say they're more trusted than clinics that operate out on their own. Maybe you want to go to a clinic. For example, the clinic I went to, they operate inside of a hospital. So God forbid something goes wrong, you know, you're inside of a hospital, so you're much safer. And yeah, the risk of hair transplants are very minimal. They don't go beyond the skin, you know, everything stays in your skin. They're not gonna cut your head open or anything like that. But you want to make sure that you choose a good clinic and check out their social media before you go. Sometimes they tag people in their social media. You can check out their profiles and you can see the results over time. What else? Istanbul, Turkey. I didn't really go anywhere because, you know, I went there for medical purposes, so I didn't want my hair transplant exposed outside. So I just do it in the hotel, and I went to a restaurant next door to buy food and stuff. The prices are like extremely cheap. United States dollars and euros, they exchange very well when it comes to the Turkish lira. For example, you can go to a restaurant, really good restaurant, and only spend like $8 or like €7, which is really good, very cheap, and, you know, very good quality too. And also they take credit cards everywhere, so you don't really need to exchange any money. When I went there, I did not exchange any of the money I had for their currency, so I just used my credit card. Very important to have a credit card with no foreign transaction fees when you travel. And also they charge you with cash. The hair transplant people charge you with cash. I pay them with cash because there was no option to use like a credit card or give them a check or anything like that. But I would prioritize clinics that will take credit cards, because God forbid they mess you up. You can talk to the credit card company, maybe you can dispute it, and that give them this, you know, more liability. So them charging you with a credit card give them more responsibility, that they have to make sure that they do everything by the book and that they are held accountable if something goes wrong, and that you can always get your money back from the credit card company. That is a peace of mind when you pay with a credit card rather than when you pay cash. So prioritize those clinics that will take credit card payments. That's it for the video. I'm going to keep posting more content out there. As far as my hair transplant goes, it's growing, it's there, it's implanted. I went through it already and I'm very happy about it. Don't be hesitant about it. If you think you're good candidate for it, go for it, because you're not gonna regret it. But definitely wait until you're like in your late 20s. Don't get a hair transplant when your baldness has not yet settled down. Wait until you're like in your late 20s, early 30s to get it. Well, that's it for the video. Take care and goodbye.